Hey guys, so Lord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Masterverse Wal-Mart exclusive. Oh, J-Jum. Oh, J-Jum. Vintage collection. And despite the fact that good old Fish Face here is one of my favorite Masters of the Universe characters, I have to say, fine folks over at Mattel who brought us this figure could have done better. I'm not gonna lie. Not for nothing, I think this mold is on its last legs. It's got a lot of mold degradation on it. And I've messed with 3 of these. One of which I got for a friend of mine. His had jacked up thighs, so I had to replace it. And then on top of that, the 2 I did end up with had a crap ton of flashing and mold degradation and just, yuck, all over it. So with that being said, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review so we can discuss said yuck in detail. We got a fist and an open hand, probably to emulate the vintage toy somewhat. We have the trident, which is not something that came with the vintage toy. This is a 2000X thing. But we do have his corncob sword, which does not have the little grip thing on it. But he doesn't need it. He can hold it fine. Take a closer look at the man or fish of the hour. He looks good, but I will tell you, look at all this crap on the back. This I was able to file down a bit. This I just noticed before recording, the kind of indentation on the back of his thigh. He's got seam lines on his biceps. His one shoulder, I guess his shoulders aren't that loose, but not great. He's got the antiquated torso that's really only good for forward and back and tilt side to side. You cannot rotate this thing. It's just antiquated for no reason. We have passed this at this point, and it's just kind of weird to see Mattel going backwards. Then again, I guess eventually everything will be Chronicles, so it really doesn't matter, but still, you got like, what, 4 or 5 different Motu lines going now, and it's getting a little, I don't know, crowded, busy. It's a bit much, is what I'm getting at. But as far as his articulation goes, his head will look up and down a little bit. A little more so with the ball peg. You can rotate, tilt. That's all fine and dandy. Shoulders will move back and forth. Out. Back. Jeez. Back down. I don't know why it was not moving back. But there you go. He's got a swivel in the bicep. Double elbow. Swivel hinge wrist. This one does not have the right hinge for all weapons. I don't know why. They have the mold. Again, going backwards. Diaphragm joint. Already went over that. You get your twist at the waist. He still has a stupid drop down hips though. Whoop. Whoop. They will kick forward, back, out, back down. Thigh cut is fine. Double jointed knee. That's fine. Boot cut. That is also fine. And then a hinge in the foot with a rocker and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. I will say this foot on mine was tighter than heck, but it seems to have loosened up a bit. So no cry, no foul there, I guess. But at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that my boy deserves better. You do have a place to put the sword on the back. I do like that. That is nice to have. And then, of course, you could just put the trident in his hand. Like so. Oh, I hope we get a Chronicles Mer-Man at some point. That would be pretty cool. I guess there's like a Clawful that's supposed to come out at some point. But I don't know when that'll be. Or if that was fake news. But there he is. There's Mer-Man. He's cool. But could have been so much better. Like the Beast-Man that we're going to be taking a look at tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. He's pretty rad. He might be the best one out of this whole vintage collection line, but we'll save that for his review. But until then, I think it is time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here we have the vintage collection alongside his new Eternia counterpart, which I can wholeheartedly say I still really like. I think this is a pretty sweet figure. I get it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it just does something for me. And if I'm being honest, I think it's better than this vintage collection one. But again, that's just me. Speaking of vintage collection, we also have Teela, who we did take a look at yesterday, so please check that out if you haven't already. Would really appreciate it if you did. And I have to say that this Mer-Man is on the larger side of Masterverse. He is a slightly larger body than even his new Eternia counterpart. So there you go. Getting these two out of the way so we can bring in our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibilith and the infamous Incur 11 Spawn, who's probably about neck and neck with good old here. So with that being said, time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and unlike the Teela from yesterday, again, check that out if you haven't already. Would really appreciate it if you did. I cannot say that this vintage collection version of good old is outshining the new Eternia release quite as much as that Teela did. Not for nothing, I've always been a fan of the new Eternia release and thought it was a cool figure. However, I understand if it's not everyone's cup of tea, but at the end of the day, I also can't say that this vintage collection version of the character is the best the Masterverse line has to offer. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.